Hi, everybody. It's Mrs. Myers. I am here for our Scholastic News today. Go ahead and look and see if you can find your Happy Veterans Day Scholastic News, and then don't forget to grab your highlighter as well. All right, well, let's get started with a video first today, boys and girls.
Thank you, veterans. What is a veteran? A veteran is someone who has served in the armed forces. Every U.S. veteran has served in one of the 5 branches of the armed forces: the Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard. Each branch has a different job to do. For example, the Army mostly works on land. The Air Force works in the sky. People in the Air Force fly planes and helicopters. People in the Navy, the Marines, and the Coast Guard all spend a lot of time at sea. But they can have other jobs too. For example, some people in the Navy fly jets. The branches are separate, but they often work together. They might work as a team to rescue someone who is hurt at sea. The President of the United States is in charge of all the branches. Under the Constitution, the President is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. On November 11th, we celebrate Veterans Day. We honor men and women who have served in the armed forces. We honor veterans because they trained hard to do their jobs. Some were medics and helped people who were hurt. Some drove tanks. And some people even worked on submarines. All of them were brave. You might know a veteran. Maybe someone in your family or in your neighborhood is a veteran. We can say thank you to veterans every day of the year, but Veterans Day is an especially great time to do it. Thank you, veterans.
What is a veteran? Talk about it. See you soon.
All right, boys and girls, so take a minute to reflect on that question. What did you hear in the video that described a veteran? We're going to do a lot more reading about it, but take a minute to think about that. And then I also, as we are reading, I want you to think about, do you know someone who is a veteran? Do you have a family member that is a veteran? And be sure after you watch this Scholastic News to talk to your family about that. I am so bummed that we are not here in school because we always have such an amazing Veterans Day assembly. And so we get to recognize people in our community that are veterans. So be sure you talk to your family about that. All right, boys and girls, let's go ahead and get ready to listen to this story that is called Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day. A veteran is someone who worked in the armed forces. Veterans are brave. What did these brave people do?
Let's read to find out.
Hooray for brave veterans! As you read, imagine what it would be like to do each thing. Brave veterans worked hard. Veterans had to train. They worked hard. They made their bodies strong. Some veterans had to do hundreds of push-ups. Can you imagine doing that many push-ups?
That's a lot of push-ups, isn't it, boys and girls? So let's go ahead and take our highlighter today. The very first thing that we heard, that one thing that veterans have to or had to do, was that they had to work hard. So take that highlighter and let's highlight brave veterans worked hard. Nice work. Let's listen to what's next.
Brave veterans had to work far from home. Some veterans had to go far away to do their jobs. They missed their families. This was hard. they talked to them on the phone or computer. Can you imagine working far from home?
Not only, boys and girls, did they have to work far from home, usually when they are working far away from home, they are called what's deployed, and so they would have to be away from their families not just overnight, but for months and months at a time. So let's go ahead and highlight brave veterans had to work far from home.
Brave veterans learned new things. Some veterans learned how to jump out of helicopters. That's a scary thing to do. But veterans are courageous. Can you imagine jumping out of a helicopter?
Boys and girls, this was something that my own grandfather did when he was in the military. And he, when I was a little girl, would always tell me about how incredibly scary it was to jump out of a helicopter or a plane. But just like these men and women, he was so very brave, and he was so thankful that he was able to do that for our country. Let's go ahead and highlight brave veterans learned new things. Okay, I'm going to press this. Let's see what this is. Was the U.S. Coast Guard, how brave they are. You saw this person jumping out of a helicopter to save someone that was in the water.
Thank you, brave dogs. Dogs can be veterans too. They helped people in the armed forces. Can you finish this rhyme? We thank these dogs for help they gave. We thank these dogs for being.
You guys think?
Some veteran dogs helped on helicopters.
Did you guys think of that rhyming word? I bet you did. All right, boys and girls, let's take a look at the helicopter diagram this morning, or this whatever time it is right now. But it says some veterans and dogs worked on helicopters. Look at the diagram of a helicopter below. Use it to answer the questions. Okay, so you see that they have these arrows pointing here. These are the blades. Do you see how that's in bold? Highlight the word blades with your highlighter. Okay, and then you will know that these are called the blades. The blades spin around. They help it lift into the air. Okay, here's our next one. You can see this, and there's a little window here. This, boys and girls, is called the cockpit. Find that red word cockpit and highlight it. That way you know that this is what they're talking about. The cockpit is in the front. The pilot sits there. Finally, you see these arrows, and I bet you know what those are called. Wheels, right? Here's that green word. Highlight that. That says wheels. Wheels help it move around on the ground. Okay, so here is my question to you. The blank is where the pilot sits. Is it the blade is where the pilot sits? The cockpit is where the pilot sits, or the wheel is where the pilot sits? Bubble in your answer now, and then we'll check in on that. I remember, I think it was the cockpit. Yes, nice work, friends. Okay, next question. The blank help lift the helicopter into the air. The blades help lift the helicopter into the air, the cockpits help the helicopter into the air, or the wheels help the helicopter into the air. Right. If you said blades, you are correct. Finally, boys and girls, it says the blank help the helicopter move around on the ground. Is it the blades that help them move on the ground? Is it the cockpits or is it the wheels? If you said wheels,
Good work.
you are correct. Nice job. Okay, let's go back. You can set aside your Scholastic News
Hooray
now.
for
And
Happy
let's see,
Veterans
I'm going
Day.
to pause that. Let's check in with our video. Our vocabulary. We did see today quite a few bold words as we were reading, and there's 4 of them. So let's listen.
Veteran. A man or woman who has served in the armed forces. Armed forces. The military of a country. The Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marines, and Space Force make up the United States Armed Forces.
So boys and girls, after we're done, be sure to ask if you have a veteran or even someone who's serving in the military currently, and then ask your family, where do they fall in that? I'll let you know my grandpa that I talked about earlier was a Marine. Okay, so ask your family what your veteran or your family member that's currently serving is.
Train. Practice and learn how to do a job. Training for the armed forces helps make you strong and brave. Courageous. Brave. When you are courageous, you do things that are hard or scary. Jumping from a helicopter is courageous.
Nice job. All right, boys and girls. You know what I noticed? There was no dance break today. My favorite thing, and there was no dance break. Oh, darn it. Let's check in with our game though. Let's see if it's working today. We've had pretty good luck since those few times that we weren't able to get in. I hope I didn't just jinx us. Oh no. Oh no, boys and girls. How about we X out one last time and see if it works today? Oh, it's not even letting me X out right now. Here's the thing with technology. We never know what's going to happen right now in first grade, do we? Boys and girls, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for tuning into our Scholastic News. I'll see all of you again on Monday. Bye, everyone.